Ah, yes, infantry. We are going to talk about the state of infantry and what we're going to see in the future. I used to be an imp simp. I'll go through all that. I'll go through kind of the history of the infantry units. I'll go through these commanders, what we used to have, because now infantry gives us in 2025 and really recently more high damage. And it's been amazing. So stick around because we'll talk about the new infantry that's coming out in January and we'll speculate what that might be.
Rallies lit up, marching right from the zone to the zone. I stay in control. Man of the people, all heart, no roll, no script, no throne, just rhythm and fire. Built for the push, never gonna tire. You feel that burn, and you already know we're locked in deep. This is Chatsky mode. This is Chatsky mode.
Hey everybody, I'm your boy War Daddy Chatsky. I do these videos all the time, and if you guys enjoy these, please throw a thumbs up on these videos. Helps out the channel a lot. If you're not subscribed, consider doing so. Hit that subscribe button and join the legion of fans and the legion of viewers and our community that we've grown. And if you want to get alerts, hit that bell on different type of content that I put out like this. And these are kind of a lot of fun to do because I'm going to talk about infantry, okay? I used to be an infantry simp. Big time. Big time. I ran more per call rallies than anybody. When this dude came out as a rally commander, I used to run this guy to death. I had crazy arch stuff back in the day when armaments first came out. And the traditional history of infantry was that it was always kind of tanky. That was kind of what infantry was known for in the field, right? You could run Martel in the field. You could run Constantine in the field. You run Richard in the field. These aren't very high damage dealing commanders. Martel's a bit of an amplifier with his active skill. He's going to do 30% more all damage for 4 seconds, which is always really good. Richard's got healing. That's what Richard always did. But then we started getting some damage commanders. Alex came into the game and Guan came into the game. That was the go-to back in the day, y'all. Those of you new players that are playing, the Guan Alex March was the go-to. And it was like the first time ever infantry had a commander doing big damage. And at the time, the 2000 damage factor Guan did was massive damage. And then he had all kinds of cool synergies when it came to having a shield. There was all kinds of cool stuff with that. And so Alex was a great combination with that. Also, people don't realize when it comes to Guan was a rally commander. When you're rallying a city or a stronghold. And so that's what was crazy about Guan. Then we started getting other commanders like Harold. Harold did like an AoE kickback damage, but he was single target. And we had Sargon and we had Leo before that. And so here's what's happened. Infantry, when they release infantry, okay, they'll typically alternate between the field commanders coming out. They'll alternate between an AoE damage and a single target damage. That's what they've been doing the last few years. For every time we got an AoE commander with infantry, we got a single damage commander like CJ. Before CJ was converted to smite, he was just a single target damage, skill damage commander. Okay, and then we got Sargon, same thing, single target skill damage commander. But then we would get Leo, which was a AoE effect. Okay, then we would get all these other commanders like CPO with a 3-target AoE effect. Okay, so they alternated. Guan, AoE, CPO, AoE. Leo, even though he's very tanky, he gave an AoE. And then you had your single target commander. So here's the issue with infantry. Because in the field, all right, there really is no, they've changed the way infantry is completely. Because no longer is it necessarily a tanky situation. Ever since they put Luce in the field, we're going big damage with infantry. 5-target AoE. Like first 5-target AoE the infantry ever put out. Luce still one of the most powerful commanders in the game. And honestly, he's one of my highest rated investment commanders, even to this day. If you don't have Luce, get him on the dailies. Holy jeez. This guy is just incredible. He's smite. You can do some different things with him. Now, when infantry went to smite, all right, we already had a ton of skill damage commanders. Then they put Ragnar in the game about, 17 months ago, 16 months ago? And Ragnar gave us a great upgrade from the typical Guan CPO. That was getting old. So now we ran Ragnar with CPO. Now, in December 2025, that's getting old. So we're trying to figure out exactly what we want to do with infantry. And we're trying to figure out exactly how to play this going forward, because we got BQ. We got BQ a handful of months ago, and he has 5 target, big damage, overpowered commander. Okay, BQ and Luce are the must-haves for infantry in the field. Gotta have those two. All right, if you're fortunate enough, or if you were able to put in some heads and do some different things, William Wallace is good, but he's also single target. This sticks back to that, hey, AoE then single target, then AoE then single target. And that's what infantry has done. And so if you do have Wallace, you know that he works exceptionally well with BQ. He works exceptionally well in front of Luce, because this is all smite, okay? And that's the direction infantry is going. It's going all smite. And so we're trying to figure out, what does this mean for Ragnar? They converted CJ to smite. Okay, so Ragnar and Skippy are like the only 2 skill damage commanders you can use. Alex technically is a skill damage commander, but he's more of an enhancer and a debuffer, and he actually does his own single target instant proc skill damage, one of the best instant procs in the game, and why he's great with Luce. And those 2 work exceptionally well together, even to today. And so from there, it's like, okay, we need more commanders. Okay, well, since we need more commanders, they gave us some, but they gave us some in the form of leadership. Philip, exceptional. Philip with Luce is great. Philip's got one of the best instant procs in the game. That's an AoE instant proc, and it also is a rage mitigation when it goes to those 3 targets. We love Philip. Philip is great with infantry, and he's an all damage amplifier. All right, he's not a damage dealer. He's not a smite dealer. He's just an all damage amplifier, and he buffs all your other marches. Now, from my standpoint, the best march I can do with Ragnar is to put Philip behind him. CPO is not working. Put Philip behind your Ragnar. It will trade so much better. I've seen it on 2 different accounts, both of my accounts that I run, and I've seen it just across the board. People talk about it all the time. And with that, we have to look at some other applications with Philip. We talked about Luce. That's great. You could put Philip behind BQ. Philip really works anywhere. So versatile. You can put him behind smite commanders, put him behind skill damage commanders, and he's good. Now we have Hector. Okay. Hector is a smite commander when he's behind infantry. All right, and it's a big damage factor, 2,600. And then he's got some other application, because in the field, he's got 20% march speed. That's wonderful with a bunch of health and defense. All right, defense is, you got a little bit of diminishing returns when it comes to infantry, because the gear and everything with infantry has so much defense, but Hector provides a really cool single target, big damage, and he also bonuses some smite damage that you do up to 3 targets. He also enhances normal damage, which is wonderful for smite. And then his expertise gives you just 10% more damage, which is great. So now we have Hector and Philip, and that is a way that you can help enhance your infantry. All right, and so we've seen it. My favorite 2 infantry march setup is really simple. It is BQ with Wallace, all right, and Luce with Hector. Those are my favorite 2. Where's my Luce? Is Luce down here? There he is. And Luce with Hector. Now you could run Luce with Philip, that's fine. You could run Luce with Alex, that's fine. But that's what I like to do. BQ and Wallace still does it for me. It's great. Wallace has got a great enhancer when it comes to his 3rd skill, to where he's gonna help a big smite damage dealer do 40% more damage increase on the smite. You want that firing off when BQ fires off his AoE, because you get more value out of that. And so we do have some things to play with. All right, and then you also have Ragnar and CPO. Those of you who are still running it, guys, I love you, man. And I'm there, and I wish it was better, but it's just falling off. CPO is a 3-year-old commander. Actually, a 4-year-old commander. When did I get this guy? Let's go look here. I unlocked him in April of 2022. He's almost a 4-year-old commander. Oh my goodness gracious. So with CPO, you can see the kills I got on this guy. I've run him to death in the field. And then Ragnar and CPO, just, man, it's falling off. Not a lot of instant proc. You do have CPO's instant proc damage that he does, but you gotta stay connected. Wait a minute. Where's his instant proc? There it is. His additional damage. You gotta stay connected to the target for 3 seconds to maximize it. That's kind of hard to do in back and forth fighting. So CPO really, really falling off. And all these infantry commanders have like 2,000 damage factor on AoE. I say all of them. CPO and Guan, 2,000 damage factor. Ragnar came out and he's got more damage. Does a lot more damage, actually. He does 2,200 damage factor, and he does a 300 damage factor of additional damage to the target. So Ragnar is just better than Guan and Scipio. He's just better. But if you don't run Philip with Ragnar, you're going to get your Ragnar Scipio smoke. This day and age, 2025, with the release of Chen and BQ and all these big time commanders that they've come out recently, Arthur and Achilles, your Ragnar's just getting left behind. Okay, so if you have to run them, I advise you to run them with Philip. Okay, so that's what we've got for kind of our field marches. We're about to get more commanders and new commanders coming out in January. We have MGE. Right now, this is the first cycle of MGE with our cavalry, okay? I've got Gilgamesh here. You put Gang here. I max Gang because I'm a cavalry player. You've also got the first cycle with David, the new cavalry garrison. Okay, so what that means is that coming late January, and the game has already teased us, they will be bringing out in MGE and on the wheel the next generation of infantry commanders. Okay, let's talk real quick before we get into that. Let's talk real quick about the garrisons, because right now the garrisons for infantry are looking pretty good. You got multiple options. All right. When you talk about the garrisons of infantry, okay, Gorgo is first and foremost one of the most valuable commander when it comes to garrisons. All right, she's a smite damage dealer. She still does exceptional stuff. Her rage requirement's only 900. She enhances normal damage on multiple occasions. She's a great anti-swarm. She's tanky. She does damage. She does everything. She really does everything. Even to this day, after a couple of years that she's been out, she does exceptional. We have Toku. Now, I don't have Toku max on this account. I have him on my infantry account, and I ran Gorgo Toku like crazy. But Toku leaves a little to be desired when it comes to anti-swarm. He's got a decent damage factor of 2,400. He does give you a shield, so he's got shielding going on with that, and he's got good stat sticks. And when you come over here, he's got a good health stack that lines up. He's got a mighty shield factor that lines up. So Toku's really good. But what's made infantry even better is that we get into situations where if you're going to run mixed garrisons, and now you have to run mixed garrisons. Nobody can run monotroop type garrisons throughout a KVK. It's just really hard to do, especially in competitive KVKs. You're getting a flag that's a linchpin flag, keeping it from burning. You're getting a fort you're trying to build. You're getting a pass you're trying to keep. You can't just dump monotroop types all in there because people are going to run out of troops. That's just the way it is. I've talked about this extensively. Well, they give us Hector. And I'm just telling you, Hector with Gorgo is the garrison of choice. Like, as much as I love Toku, Hector with Gorgo, amazing. I've got a card in the top that talks about that. It was the MVP of the KVK I just fought with on my alt account and my second account. And I ran Gorgo Hector exclusively because you can run this with mix. You can put anything you want. Hector's got all these skills that work in a garrison. And we were able to supplant the Gorgo Hera. Gorgo Hera, too old, y'all. Just getting rocked. I mean, it is getting rocked. And so if you're running mix with Gorgo, do not run Hera anymore. Run Hector. All infantry garrison players know this already. I saw Hector all over the field and all over the KVK when it came to the garrisons with infantry. You saw some Tokus, but people were not able to just keep those filled with infantry. They had to go to skill. And when you go to skill, they had to go to mixed. And when you go to mixed, Toku just doesn't do it. Toku, he's got way too many stat sticks that mix does not work with him. And so from there, though, overall, I think with the release of Hector into the game, it's given infantry garrison kind of a shot in the arm. So you're looking good there. Okay. And so from that standpoint, we won't get an infantry garrison commander again for about 7 months when we get into the next generation, because coming in January, we're about to get a rally commander. All right, now let's talk about the rallies, because here's our boy Sipo Emiliano's first smite rally we got with infantry. Okay, single target, massive damage, still massive damage, 2,700. He's got a cool little buff he gives, or the debuff to the target. The target takes 20% more damage for 3 seconds. That's amazing when you're swarming stuff down. You got great stat sticks here. I don't know why they give him infantry march bonus, but you deal 5% more normal damage. He is really good. He's got a cleanse obviously on him, but Scipio Emilianus still to this day is like the go-to for infantry rallies. Great. And you pair him with a field commander like William Wallace. You pair him with Wallace because Wallace is able to do single target damage, putting big damage on the garrison. And most of Wallace's skill, I believe just about all of them, work in the rally. Okay, except for this one right here. This is the only thing you don't get when it comes to Wallace. But the real important one, especially with the rally, is his third skill. So that is kind of the best rally we've got right now. All right. And so with that, Scipio Emilianus needs a pairing. He's got to have a pairing. He's got to have a rally pairing to go with. And when he gets one, it's going to be pretty good. It's going to be a smite commander. So you heard it here. Okay, everybody kind of knows this. They know the cycles of how this thing works. But come January, when infantry has a new commander, a new, next generation, we're going to get a rally, all right? And it's going to be smite. I don't know if it'll be AoE or not, but it's definitely going to be smite that you can pair with Scipio Emilianus. We hope that it's got some normal damage stuff, some anti-swarm, some tanky things to do, because that's the one issue with Scipio Emilianus and William Wallace, is that it can be swarmed down. And it can be swarmed down pretty easily. It's not a big stat stick tanky or big kickback damage that it does. So that is one I am not afraid to swarm. So hopefully, and what I predict we'll get is a smite rally commander. I think it's either going to be very tanky to go along with Scipio Emilianus, or I think they run up the normal damage and make it a really prickly thing. Because if you're going to run Scipio Emilianus and you're going to run it in a hairy situation where it's going to get swarmed down, a lot of people just run them with Pakal. Just run them with Pakal and go to town. Some people are running like Charles Martel with Pincer, running him primary and then letting his counterattack do his thing, but then it amplifies Scipio Emilianus. There's all kinds of different ways you can run that to be more prickly. It's kind of going to get smoked by the garrison if it's a good garrison, but that's how you can run that. Now, when it comes to the January release of the next generation, let's talk about the field, shall we? Because we go back to this, and we talked about it at the beginning of the video, that they alternate between AoE and single target damage in the field. And right now, we are, based on what they've done in the past, we're scheduled to get, for the wheel commander that's coming in January, that will be the infantry field commander, we're scheduled, based on history, to get a single target damage commander. I don't think they're going to do that. I really don't. I think the game is, they've seen it when people want to invest in commanders. They want AoE. They want monster field marches, or field commanders. They want big time commanders that can do a lot of damage in the field. They already teased us with Luce with a 5-target AoE, with BQ overpowered 5-target AoE. And then they gave us Wallace, and Wallace was kind of a dud. Okay, and so from that standpoint, when I say kind of a dud, it's mainly because he's just single target. But now that we have an option to have more smite come into the game, I don't think it'll be single target. But I don't think it'll be 5-target AoE. That's not what I think we're gonna get. Okay, if you gave infantry 5-target AoE, they would literally be the only troop type that runs like 5-target AoE everywhere. Okay, like even more so than archers. Archers have Chin, and they have Zuge and YSG, and those all have 5-target AoEs. Chin technically has 6. And so infantry was never designed to do that. And so archers are the one troop type that does have that. I don't think they're going to give us a 5-target AoE. You know what I think they're going to give us? I think they're going to give us a 3-target AoE smite. That's what I think they're going to give us. If I had to guess right now for the field commander for infantry, I would say 50% is going to be a 3-target AoE. I'd give 50% odds. I would give 1 to 2 odds that it's going to be 3-target AoE smite. That's what I think we're going to get. I think we're also got a chance to get, probably I'd say 40% chance to get single target. I know that sucks, and I know people don't want to hear it, but I think there's a 40% chance we get a single target infantry commander for the field. People will not be happy about that at all. And then there's a 5% chance they completely throw a curveball and give us a skill damage commander and allow players who have skill damage wedge stuff like me to stick with it and run Ragnar. Give us a pair for Ragnar. Give us a skill damage AoE pair for Ragnar. There's a 5% chance that's going to happen. I don't think it will, but there's still a 5% chance. And the last 5% chance, I will say, is a 5-target smite AoE. I don't think they're going to do that. So 50% chance we get a 3-target smite or AoE, a 40% chance we get a single target smite, a 5% chance we get a skill damage AoE, and a 5% chance we get a smite 5-target AoE. That's what I think we're going to find in the field. And the last time I did this, when it came to what we're going to see out of the cavalry, I was pretty spot on when it came to what we were going to see out of Gamgantian. Okay, and so from that standpoint, take it for what it's worth. All right, my opinion doesn't mean much of anything. It's just a little bit of speculation here. So in the future, I think we're going to get, in January, it's going to be late January, we're going to get a great rally commander to pair with Scipio Emilianus. I think we're going to get a smite commander to pair in the field. I think the odds are it's going to give us a 3-target smite. I think there's a chance it could be a single target smite, and it's a super small chance it's a skill damage or a 5-target smite. Okay, that's what we're going to see. And so the pairings are there. You can go run infantry, but right now we need another infantry commander so we don't have to run Hector or Philip with infantry. They're fine. They're great. They're great amplifiers. Hector's a great damage dealer. I ran him behind BQ and Luce all last KVK because I'm a Garrison player on my second account, and he did fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And so you do have smite commanders. You could run 2 smite easily with infantry. Not hard at all. And so from there, getting another AoE, at least a 3-target AoE smite commander would be great, because then from there you could run your BQ with Wallace, you could run the new smite commander with Luce, or BQ and new smite and then Wallace with Luce. You could still run Luce with Alex. You could still run Philip over there as well, run Hector. You can still do a lot of things. But with the release of the new Infantry Field Commander at the end of January, some of you smite guys are going to have a chance to run 3 infantry smite. And that ought to be a lot of fun for you imp sims. So if you enjoyed this video, please throw a thumbs up on it. Give it a like. Trying to give all this information that we can. I talked about the history of infantry. I talked about the trends with infantry. I talked about some of the pairings we're running now, garrisons and rallies. And then I talked about the future of infantry and what we're going to see next month, what we're going to see down the road with the garrison. Infantry's in a good place, y'all. Good place right now. It is a very fun time to be an infantry player, to run multiple marches, to run the garrisons with Gorgo and Hector now, to run the rallies. You're about to get a new one. It's going to be a lot of fun. So throw a like on here. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. I love doing these videos. I love you, broskies. Get down in the comments. Give me your different feedback, and let's start up that discussion. Also, join my Discord. The link is in the description, and that's where we can talk about this stuff and speculate even more. And with that, we love you, broskies. We will see you later.
Chase trends, I ride what hits. Old war code and my cavalry kicks. Still roll strong with the Tiller's name. That ghost rides hard in the modern game. Call me Cav Simp, I don't flinch. Built by grit, don't need a clinch. What wins stays, I test and go. If it breaks the line, then I ride that flow. Hey yo, you feel that snap? Blade running straight through the map. Face taking fire, no step back. Built for the front, never off track. Swarm everything, we don't delay. Join counter rally, let it explode. Best KP you'll get, just lock and load. FC mode, stand and fight. Rallies lit up, marching right from the zone to the zone. I stay in control. Man of the people, all heart, no roll, no script, no throne, just rhythm and fire. Built for the push, never gonna tire. You feel that burn, and you already know we're locked in deep. This is Chatsky mode. This is Chatsky mode. No titles. No ego.